Premiere 26.2 is here and it comes with a few small additions and one new feature that is probably underappreciated, but the real talking point is what comes to the beta version. And they're actually not calling it a feature, they're calling it a reset. Let's talk about the new color mode. Hi, my name is Piotr, I'm a freelance editor and the creator of essential motion presets for Premiere Pro and a bunch of plugins that streamline your editing workflow, like the newly released AI editor plugin or widely appreciated clip exporter. And as I've mentioned, I think there is one underappreciated feature in the new release that we'll talk about later in the video, but let's start with the color mode and let's make it clear it's not Lumetri Color 2.0. It's not an update, it's really a new way of working with color, a new workflow that they introduced. And to talk about it, let me start with the quote from Adobe. So they say, your imagination should drive color, not your ability to master complex tools. Complex tools. What tool do they mean? I'm wondering, what tool could they actually mean? So I think that's their angle, like to compare it with Resolve without mentioning it. But I have to say, like, I tried it out and it looks very solid. I think it's a very elegant way to color correct and color grade your footage. At the same time, it's nowhere near what you can do in Resolve. And of course, the complexity is completely different, on a completely different level. But what does it all mean? First of all, it gets a dedicated color workspace. Again, sounds familiar, I think I've seen it somewhere. In the workspace we get large program monitor, vertical clip grid, and as always with Premiere we can customize the layout if we want to. That's actually one advantage of Premiere over Resolve that is unquestionable in my opinion. Secondly, almost all of the controls are bidirectional. So for example, when you're changing the contrast, moving up and down, you can also change the pivot of the contrast. So basically what's the point from which the stretching happens by moving the cursor left to right. And I think it will prove to be very good for fast changes. But what I like the most are the new heads-up displays. Basically when you're changing a given control, it shows you a scope and animated HUD that helps you make an informed decision rather than just on your gut feeling. And by the way, if you're not familiar with vector scopes, waveforms, and so on, I will be actually taking this new feature for a spin in my school community. And if you're watching later, there will be a recording. So if you want to be part of that and also get access to all of my learning materials and preset packs, you're welcome to join. And color mode also comes with film emulations, something we didn't have in Premiere. I actually used the Nitrate plugin for it. But what I like the most about this new workflow is that you can finally create groups and color code like group of clips at the same time. You can also apply a grade to the whole sequence at once. So you don't have to tweak the adjustment layers on top of everything and stuff like that, or like remove attributes and reapply color correction. You know, those are workarounds that we used. But there is also one disappointment that I still have. It's the fact that we don't have noise reduction built in. That's one of the things that I really love about Resolve, that you have noise reduction in that color palette. And in Premiere, we still don't have an efficient way to deal with noise in the video. It also makes it easy to adjust certain color ranges because it kind of looks at the clip and makes a decision of what are the dominating color ranges. So I think it's kind of fun and it happens for the highlights and shadows as well. Okay, so what's my take on the new feature, on this new reset? I think that Adobe is positioning it for editors that really get frustrated and feel that coloring is the hardest part of the job. I think this is also their way to fight with people leaving for Resolve, and I actually think they're making a good point here. If you ask yourself a question, what percentage of possibilities in Resolve most editors use, it will be a very small percentage. And with this color mode, you will use 50% of it and will be at the same level. And yes, it's much more intuitive, it's much more easy to learn. For most users, it will be more than enough. It will be more than enough. Let's leave it for now. Let's talk about what's new in the version you probably have installed on your computer right now, 26.2. First of all, we get 3 new GPU accelerated effects: channel blur, gradient, and noise effect. And I'm especially happy about the gradient effect. It gives a lot of control and feels much faster than the 4 gradient tool that we had earlier. Oh, I hated that one. I mean, it's still there and I still hate it. We also get 2 new transitions, namely 3D spin back and slide transition. Small additions, but I guess appreciated. Next, they are promising faster media relinking, and I think it's great, especially since I didn't consider it slow in Premiere. I actually think it's very fast, but now it's even faster, so yeah, bring it on, bring it on. Okay, which takes me to another one. Sometimes you want to just disable audio for the project when playing it, right? We have the new global mute, but for audio only. And it's located in the menu bar at the top, so this is a little bit different. It's a small but great addition. And before I tell you about the new feature that is probably underappreciated, I just want to mention quickly Frame.io Drive. It's something new that they're bringing to the table that is supposed to make sharing files easier and faster than ever before. And I haven't tested it, I don't know if it's true or not, but I will probably look into it, and if I like it, I'll let you know. I will make a video about it, so make sure to subscribe not to miss out on that. Okay, but the new release that I'm really happy about is the new Sequence Inxed. And maybe it's not sexy, it's not something that you're like, wow, this just like unleashes my creativity. Not one of those, but it helps you find things quickly. It's a new panel in Premiere Pro. So you go to Window, Sequence Inxed, and then this opens. And it looks like a spreadsheet with your clips. And that's pretty much what it is. It lists down all of the clips used in your sequence in the order they're used. You can enable and disable columns to display different type of information. Unfortunately, there is no preset option over here yet, but if there will be, I will be adding those to Ultimate Presets pack. And now, anytime I click on a given row, it shows me, it selects that clip on the sequence. Secondly, I can export all of this information as a spreadsheet file. And thirdly, I have these filtering options. So I can filter based on the color label, missing fonts, missing effects, speed changes, and all of these different criteria. And this is great for troubleshooting, for exchanging files, for exchanging projects, for conforming projects, and so on. And maybe you're just editing shorts on YouTube and you're not really working with clients, then this feature will not be groundbreaking for you. But if you're a professional editor or someone who aspires to be one, this will probably find its way to your workflow sooner than you think. That's my hot take on it. So again, if you want to build your knowledge about what's possible in Premiere and with editing in general, I welcome you to join my school community. And there is also a link to my presets and plugins in the description. All of them help you streamline your editing workflow. That's something that I always think about when I create a new preset pack or a plugin. How to be more efficient without losing the control as the editor, as someone who's being paid for his good judgment on the visual storytelling. And I would be keen to hear what you think about the new release. Till the next time, bye.